Hey, this is Mr. W. Getting ready to give you some information about combining like terms. Make sure that we understand the vocabulary behind it. Remember the variable term, right? Or a variable is the letter. And it could have multiple letters if you want. Multiple letters to look like, something like x times y or x squared y or something like that. All right, but those are the variable terms. The constant is just the number. You remember a number is just a number is just a number. So like the number 4. 4 is a 4 is a 4. Cannot change. Constant. Coefficient is the number that's in front of the variable. So something like this, 4x. This is the coefficient. So we can have just x. So the coefficient would be 1, right? Don't forget that there's a 1 there. But most of the time it could be a negative 3xy. This is the coefficient, is the number. And I call that the big number. All right? Like terms just means that the variables are alike, right? That the variables are the same. And it could be as simple as x terms, right? So 3x and negative 4x. Those are like terms. It could be 6x squared y to the third and 9x squared y to the third. Those would be the same. Those are like terms. Now, the whole thing is to make sure that we get that information and make sure that we understand that when we are to circle the like terms, the 4x, that is simply just this one. These two, even this one has a 4 and this one has an x, they're not x, just x's. This is x squared and this is xy, so those aren't there. So 5xy, I'm looking for the other xy. 7x squared, I'm looking for the other x squared. I'm not worried about the coefficient. I'm just making sure that the variable term is, the very part is going to be the same. When combining like terms, you are adding or subtracting the coefficients. All right, the variables and exponents do not change. All right, they do not change. So make sure that we understand that. So we're looking simply just to add and subtract the coefficients. All right, then you can read the notes down there. All right, if we look at the second page, we're going to simply practice something here. And simplify means to reduce to lowest terms. Your answers may have more than one term. All right, so make sure that we understand that. So when we simplify, I would go through and I would identify the different types of terms that we have. So we have an x term, an x term, and an x term. And then I have a constant term, a constant term, and a constant term. I do this to make sure that I understand which ones go together and which ones don't. So I have the ones that have just one line underneath it, and then I simply just do what the operations tell me. So 7 minus 5 is 2, and then 2 plus 4 is 6, so I have 6x. Then I go to my constants. 3 plus 8 is 11, minus 1 is 10, positive 10. That would be my answer. Whenever I do this, I make sure I identify what I need to combine, what I get to add and subtract together. That's the same with this. If you notice now we have exponents. So we put the exponents downhill. So we start with the highest one first and then we go down to the constant. So I see here, if I scan real quick, I see an c squared, c constant, c squared, c constant. So here's my c squareds, since that's the highest exponent. I see my c, and then I see my constant. So unless something cancels out, I'm going to have 3 terms in my answer. So let's see, 8 plus 2 is 10, so 10c squared. Notice I didn't do anything with the exponent. I don't add the exponents. I don't do anything with the exponents. That's 10c squared. I have a negative c minus 1 more c, so I'm in the whole 2. So that's minus 2c, and then 3 plus 2 is 5. Look at that, 3 lines, 3 terms. That's my answer. All right? So here's a couple things that you need to make sure you understand. If there's parentheses, just ignore them if it's a plus sign. If there's more than one letter in the term, like xy or a squared b, really think alphabetically. Don't get too crazy on that. Just think about it alphabetically. All right? So now you're going to end up giving it a try, and you're going to do these 10 problems. Simply just go through, combine the like terms, and be done. All right? Bye.